Hey guys, today on People Now, Hamilton creator Lin-Manuel Miranda and other stars joined protests against the governor of Puerto Rico. We have details.
Living by Design stars Jazz and Jake Smollett tell us what they're most excited about in their home improvement show.
Back to the Future star Lea Thompson is here with all we need to know about a new series, Iconic 80s.
It's all live today on People Now. Let's go.
Woo, happy Thursday. Here we go.
Almost there.
Almost the weekend. Welcome to People Now. What better way to celebrate Throwback Thursday than with a few of our favorite films from the 80s? Actress Lea Thompson, who we love so much, is joining us live later on in the show right here. You might know her from a little movie series called Back to the Future.
Maybe.
No big deal. Going to be filling us in on a special 80s movie series that she's got going on. It's really cool.
But before we get to that, we want to know which classic 80s film is your favorite. Is it Lea's hit, Back to the Future? Maybe you love Dirty Dancing, maybe Ferris Bueller's Day Off, or The Goonies. This is hard. It's like choosing between your children, I feel, right?
Like your nostalgic children.
Yes, well, vote in our People poll, or if your favorite isn't on the list, tweet us your answer with the hashtag PeopleNow.
We're going to check in on those results and sit down with Lea in just a bit, but for now, here's what you need to know and what's trending for today. We begin with this. Hamilton creator Lin-Manuel Miranda showed up at a protest in New York City on Wednesday demanding the resignation of Puerto Rico's governor amid a scandal involving a series of leaked chat messages.
Miranda spoke out against the alleged corruption surrounding Governor Ricardo Rossello and vowed that Puerto Ricans are standing up against it. He led about 200 people at the rally, with many waving Puerto Rican flags and chanting, "Love, live, free Puerto Rico" in Spanish.
Meanwhile, back in Puerto Rico, musicians Ricky Martin, Bad Bunny, and Residente joined protests at the Capitol building. The trio were seen climbing onto a caravan and leading the crowd with chants and slogans.
While the protests in New York remained peaceful, they turned violent in Puerto Rico, with this footage from Wednesday night showing a tense standoff between police and protesters.
Clashes erupted after protesters overturned barricades, and police responded by firing tear gas at the crowd. Protesters could be seen picking up the canisters and then throwing them back at the police.
Earlier in the week, there were also reports of protesters allegedly setting fire to garbage containers to defend themselves against tear gas and rubber bullets.
Protests kicked off in Puerto Rico earlier this month after the governor's homophobic and misogynistic text messages were leaked to the public. The messages also show him and his aides mocking Hurricane Maria victims, along with women and those with disabilities.
Puerto Rico has been mired in crises in the aftermath of the 2017 hurricane that left thousands of people dead. The island also continues to struggle with debilitating economic conditions in the wake of that storm.
So much going on there. Now we move on to this devastating news. A Japanese fire official says 33 people are dead after a man allegedly set fire to an animation studio in Kyoto, Japan. 36 others are injured, with 10 in critical condition.
Authorities say the 41-year-old man, who is not a company employee, burst into the studio screaming, "You die." The Associated Press is reporting that, according to police, the fire started in the three-story building of Japan's ancient capital after the suspect allegedly sprayed an unidentified liquid accelerant. The suspect was injured and is in the hospital. Officials are investigating him on suspicion of arson.
The AP is also reporting that Japanese media say the fire might have been set near the front door, forcing people to find other exits, possibly delaying their escape. Officials say the largest number of victims were found on the top floor of the building, with some being found on the staircase leading to the roof.
Most of those killed and injured were workers at Kyoto Animation, which is known for stories featuring high schoolers.
Japan's prime minister mourned the victims of the deadly fire on Twitter, saying he was speechless at the horrendous scene. He expressed his condolences to the victims and prayed for recovery for those injured.
Very sad. This is the deadliest fire in Japan since a 2001 blaze killed 44 in Tokyo.
And our hearts go out to all those people involved. Let's switch gears here. Very different story. Talking Khloé Kardashian. She's telling the world how she really feels about Tristan Thompson after his alleged cheating scandal with family friend Jordyn Woods. The reality star responded to a meme that says, "I know Khloé hates Tristan, but Baby True is starting to look just like him."
Yeah, Khloé was spotted in the comments saying, "Why would I ever hate anyone who helped create such an angel? People make mistakes, but I won't hurt my own healing by holding on to hate." She went on to say, "I'm too busy raising my beautiful baby and securing that money to hate any individual." She had to get that money line in there.
Secure the money.
Now, Sweet True has always looked like her daddy. She's beautiful.
Yeah, Kardashian was still feeling the love on Thursday morning when she shared a few inspirational quotes to her Instagram story. One saying in part, quote, "Hate no one, no matter how much they've wronged you. Forgive all, especially yourself, and never stop praying for the best for everyone."
Now, Khloé and Tristan welcomed Baby True back in April. This was just days after different cheating allegations surfaced against Thompson. Now, they seem to work through those allegations to come together as a family. In February, news of the alleged cheating scandal with Jordyn Woods broke, so fans got to see see all of that drama play out on Keeping Up with the Kardashians.
Khloé,
it's been a lot.
Yeah, it has been a lot. Khloé's made it clear throughout all that drama that her focus is and always will be her daughter True. She posts adorable photos of True all the time on social media. And Khloé, also not a stranger to clapping back when people come for how she's raising True. She most recently clapped back at critics who mom-shamed her over having long nails. Yes, having long nails. Is that going to stop somebody from being a good mom?
No, absolutely not.
At this point, it's a sport for people, so I think she knows that, and
Yeah.
she sets the record straight. Anyway, let's move on to this. Watch.
No, you bashed me.
Bashed me
every
you
day.
bashed me on the show.
I did not bash. Tell me how I bashed you on
I
the show.
just read a whole list
You
of
bashed
it.
each other on
Yeah,
the show.
you bashed each other
on
I'm
the
so
show.
full of
We bash each
Just a little low-key conversation there. A clip from the heated Season 10 Real Housewives of New York City reunion in 2018, and former Real Housewives of New York City star Carole Radziwill is doubling down on claims she made about Andy Cohen and the Bravo show, which she claims was getting darker and darker when she left the series. Now, Carole appeared on Jenny McCarthy's SiriusXM radio show Tuesday to promote A&E's new doc biography, JFK Jr. The Final Year. Now, the conversation quickly turned to Real Housewives of New York City, of course. Carole did not hold back.
Yeah, she didn't. Jenny brought up Carole's Season 10 reunion, her last one, where she now infamously told Andy Cohen he was full of bleep and that he's afraid of her former Housewives co-star Bethany Frankel. Now, Carole says that reunion was a turning point for her, adding, "There was so much more that they didn't air. The very first thing I did after the reunion was I called my accountant because I wanted to know if I do this, how long could I go without a big paycheck?" Now, on Tuesday, Carole also stood by the comment she made at the reunion that Andy Cohen was full of bleep, adding, "If I said it was true, and he knew it, and I think he would know it now."
Oof.
Yeah.
Kind of sticking to it there.
Pretty harsh.
Carole, who was on Real Housewives of New York City for 6 years, also got real about a relationship with Housewives co-star Tinsley Mortimer. She admits they were never really friends. She said that they never clicked. Carole claims that she and Tinsley haven't spoken since leaving the show, and she added that was one of those storylines.
I wonder if Tinsley's going to respond to that, because that's
Probably.
pretty harsh, too.
I think at this point they will all respond.
The former castmates' friendship caused a rift between former best friends Carole and Bethany Frankel during Season 10. Carole claims producers purposely put the two women together in order to create a storyline. We should note that Carole is still close with former Housewives co-star Dorinda Medley.
So the drama continues. Tinsley opened up about their relationship on an earlier episode of Watch What Happens Live, admitting she hasn't called Carole since she left the series, but added, "I love her, and I should. It's my fault." When asked about Carole saying they were never that close, Tinsley revealed while facing the camera, she said, "Yeah, it hurt my feelings, but I still love her. I'd like to be friends with her again. Carole, I'd like to be friends with you again. Hi, call me."
Okay, so there's hope there. And you guys, we've got lots from our sit-down with Real Housewives of New York City star Luann de Lesseps in just a bit, so don't go anywhere.
And stay with us, guys. We're going to be joined live by Lea Thompson. As we mentioned, she's got an exciting movie series coming up for all you 80s fans out there. Plus, Jussie Smollett's siblings, Jazz and Jake Smollett, are transforming millennial spaces in their series Living by Design. They'll be here live to share their top design tips and much more. All right, part 2 of Season 11's reunion for the Real Housewives of New York City airs tonight on Bravo. We sat down with Luann de Lesseps to break down the drama from this season and to get some updates on where things stand with the ladies.
It's been a dramatic season.
It has
So
been.
a big part of the end of this season was when the women came after you for your alleged diva behavior.
Oh, I'm a diva. Totally. Well, you know, I like to say if doing what makes you happy and making people happy is being a diva, then I'm a diva.
They'll take it and own it, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, looking back, do you kind of feel like they were ganging up on you in those
Totally.
situations?
Totally. And I think I was misunderstood. And looking back, I can see how that could happen. You know, it looked like I was totally self-involved, which I was because, you know, I had to put myself first and I had to walk out of some very difficult situations, which was a lot of, you know, hardcore partying.
Yeah.
So, so I could see where they thought I was insensitive to them and, you know, and that I put my cabaret career first and not them. But it was really about protecting myself and staying in my lane and taking care of myself.
Yeah.
Now, Luann has had some legal troubles in the past year, stemming from a Christmas Eve arrest in 2017, where she ultimately pled guilty to charges of battery, trespassing, and disorderly intoxication. In August of 2018, she agreed to a plea deal with a handful of terms, including a year of probation. That year is almost up. Watch what Luann had to say.
What's the latest with your the situation with your probation? Is that something that's
That's going to be over in August.
Over in August, okay, yeah.
So really looking forward to putting that behind me because, you know, I paid dearly for a really bad night and I take ownership over it, absolutely. But I'm ready for this to be over and to put it behind me, and it's soon. So.
And when that's over, what's one thing that you look forward to being able to sort of do that you're unable to do now?
Are you saying, are you going to party later?
Well, I don't know. What's day one look like?
You know, I take it day by day, and you know, I don't know what's going to happen, you know, tomorrow. I mean, I certainly take my sobriety seriously, and that is important to me. And at this point, I don't feel like drinking, so I'm in a really good place. So I'm happy about that.
That's great.
Yeah. So I'm celebrating the end of August, whether it's with a mocktail or with a real cocktail. I don't believe it's going to be a real cocktail.
Okay.
Sonja has been getting a lot of heat this season, and some of the ladies think she has a drinking problem. That's got to be hard for you, given your past with alcohol, kind of seeing her go through that. What do you do in those situations?
Listen, you can't lead a horse to water and make it drink. I mean, or in this case, you can. Sorry, I had to
I see what you mean. Yes, it makes sense.
That was funny.
That was funny. It accidentally happened.
I'm going to use that in my cabaret show. No, I think ultimately people have to decide for themselves. You know, if you have to ask yourself if you have a drinking problem, you probably do.
Let's talk about this. Ramona gets into the hot seat in the reunion over her social climbing. Where do you stand with her today, with Ramona?
With Ramona, I haven't really seen Ramona that much. But you know, Ramona's Ramona. It's like it's almost part of the package. You know, you know what to expect.
Yeah.
In a certain way, and you know, I think if you look hard enough, there's a big heart in there, and she gets herself into a lot of trouble. I think, you know, by not telling the truth, and you're going to see that on the reunion.
Yeah, there's also talk in the reunion of Tinsley having an arrangement with Scott Kluth. What do you think of that arrangement?
You know, it's funny, you know, I saw Tinsley, actually I invited her to the launch of Feel and Giovanni at Gitano in New York, and she came with another guy. So I don't think she's still with Scott, so.
We also see in a trailer for the reunion, Bethany says to Tinsley,
You don't live in New York, let's just not get it twisted.
Doesn't matter.
It does matter.
Right.
where does Tinsley live?
You know, I think she lives between New York and Palm Beach. You know, her family's in Palm Beach, and but I think she keeps something in New York.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Bethany was just trying to be mean.
Well, I think that at a certain point she had moved out of New York. I think when we were done filming, it was the winter, and she flew south, which I don't blame her for.
Right.
You know what I mean? I think she spent time with her family.
That's when you
and
go, right.
That's when you go, and I think she spent time there, and I think she's probably back in New York.
When you look at all the
Well, I know she's in New York. She actually called me this weekend. She wanted to come to the, we were gonna hang out in the Hamptons, and it didn't work out.
So she's in New York
back.
now.
She's in New York.
When it comes to the cabaret show and it comes to the backlash and all that was made about that,
Yeah.
moving forward next season or whenever you do it again and the ladies are back in the mix, do you hesitate to invite them, to include
Do
them?
you think I'm gonna talk, you know, when I say I have to go, because I have to do I'm gonna say a show.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna say cabaret.
This is suddenly the dirty word in the
Dirty
mix,
word,
right?
right?
Like, keep that out of your mouth.
Right? What's wrong with Luann talking about cabaret? I mean, this is something that I was able to sink my energy and creative juices into and like make me happy, you know, and I would think that they would be happy for me, but that wasn't quite the case, was it? And it really has saved me because I love what I do. You know, the fans, you know, love it, and that it just, you know, makes me happy to make people happy. And if that's being a diva, then I guess I'm a diva.
And Little Birdie told us you're going to Broadway. Is there?
You know what? There has been talk of me in Chicago, and my tour has been going on, so we're trying to work out a date.
Wow, that's
Talking
exciting.
about it, yes. Very exciting.
So it's happening.
Well, yeah, we just have to work out a date. God knows I love to be on stage, so that's good. It's a part that's fitting for me because it's all about class. You know,
Written for
Written
you,
for
born
me.
to play
I
this
mean,
role. Who's
yeah.
your like #1 Broadway inspiration? Do you have someone that you really look up to, an actress or some show that you've always loved? That
well, I mean, I love Chicago. Oh my God, Kristen Chenoweth. So many fabulous Broadway stars.
well, that's great, exciting,
She's-
exciting news for you.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the ladies can't give you any grief now.
Right? Well,
Or either that, or can you imagine how
I
much?
don't know about that.
See Broadway.
Don't say Broadway. Okay. Don't say cabaret. Don't say
Say Broadway, right? Yeah, yeah.
You know, and like I say, listen, you know, My life is a cabaret. Sorry, yours might not be.
There you go.
Yeah, one final question. So you're obviously a huge part of the show now. You're an OG. But in season 6, you were actually demoted to friend for just a season. Then you came back. So that's happening with Vicky Gunvalson from Orange County. So any words of advice to her or someone that, was in that, that spot, and then they're demoted? I mean, it's got to be hard to go through.
Yeah, well, I think that even though I was not or demoted for season 6, I was in every single episode and scene.
Like airtime,
Yeah.
wouldn't even notice.
So it was, sometimes these negotiations may go that way. That's all I'm gonna say.
Okay.
So I
wait
hope
to-
that Vicky's gonna be I know she's gonna be just fine.
So it's more of a behind-the-scenes kind of thing that,
Yeah. I
To
don't
us-
think it has anything to do with popularity, by the way.
She always just clears everything up, doesn't
Yes,
she?
she does.
For a lot more of Luann, make sure to watch part 2 of the season 11 reunion of The Real Housewives of New York City tonight, 9 p.m. Eastern on Bravo.
And we'll be breaking down the highlights of the episode on tomorrow's People Now in our weekly Housewives recap, so make sure to tune in for that as well. All right.
Watch this.
I don't know what it is. But when I kiss you, it's like I'm kissing my brother. I guess it doesn't make any sense, does it?
Believe me, it makes perfect sense.
It's one of the most iconic 80s movies ever, Back to the Future. And today we're joined by one of its beloved stars, Lea Thompson. Hello.
Hi, you
guys.
Right here from Fire Island.
Yes, yes,
You're in
yes.
vacay mode.
Yeah, yes, I know. I didn't even have a dress to bring. Sorry.
No, you're
great.
Thanks for making
Yes.
time for us. You can anytime you want to be here. It doesn't
Show
matter
me
what you're
whatever.
wearing.
Yeah.
Please just show up.
Let's talk about this. You have something so fun coming up. Iconic 80s with Lea Thompson. You're breaking down these 80s films that we know and love with an expert. What was your favorite thing to discuss? Was it the celebs? Was it the movies, the fads, the trends?
The movies. I mean, there's some really great movies that we got to discuss, including Xanadu.
Yeah.
Which is my personal favorite from the 80s. They're such great movies, and it's really fun to pay tribute to them, like they're doing on HDNet. And I just was really happy to be part of it and to do that kind of hosting duty. Was
Oh
fun.
yeah, right, doing that thing. Let me talk about the list though. Something for everybody here. You mentioned Xanadu, your movie Some Kind of Wonderful, also St. Elmo's Fire, Repo Man, Christine, that's just naming a few of them. All these favorite 80s movies, you're in some of them. I mean, my gosh, what's your favorite 80s movie character that you identify with the most, whether you played it or not?
I think Dirty Dancing.
Really?
Yeah, Jennifer Grey was a really good friend of mine. We did Red Dawn together, and she was so great in that movie, and I just loved that movie. And I'm also really excited because it kicks off with this movie I did called Casual Sex, with a question mark, which Tara McNamara, who's the co-host with me, she's like a real 80s history buff. So she was talking about how groundbreaking that was, and it didn't really occur to me, but it was the first movie to deal with the AIDS crisis and safe sex and all of that. And it was written by a woman, it was directed by a woman, it was very unusual, starred 2 women.
And in hindsight, even you really can see how groundbreaking it was, right?
Yeah, we didn't really think about it that way. It was started as a play in the Groundlings Theater.
Oh,
and,
cool.
So yeah, it was kind of neat. She was talking about how cool it was, and I was like, wow, I didn't know that. I'm cool.
Even you learning new
Yes.
things along the way here.
Really fun to hear you reflect on that time. And in one of the conversations, you said that the 80s was an interesting time to be an actress. So yeah, explain that. What did you mean by that?
Well, a young actress, because they hadn't really been making movies with young people as stars, and then John Hughes kind of brought that up, and then there was Karate Kid, and there was Ferris Bueller's Day Off and The Breakfast Club. They started making these movies that were very serious about young people. There aren't any movies like that right now.
Yeah, I was gonna
Zero.
say, you
Zero,
can't
zero,
find
zero.
any TV show.
You can find TV shows, but you can't find features about about teenagers.
In that way, right?
Yeah.
Why do you think that is?
I don't know, because well, you have Spider-Man. You know what I mean? Like that's it. It's all the big, tentpole Marvel shows. So I don't know. And so it was a very special time to be an actor in Hollywood.
I was gonna say, as a young actress, especially when they were making a lot with that content, it was probably nice to get in then.
Yeah, well, they would take a chance on a person like me who had no.
Yeah.
no experience.
Yeah, worked out.
Yeah,
It
we're glad
turns
they
out.
did.
Let's talk about this. You reunited with your Back to the Future co-stars Michael J. Fox and Tom Wilson not too long ago, MegaCon.
Yeah.
You guys seem to do this type of thing a lot. You really embrace this iconic role from this iconic movie. Some actors try to distance themselves. You guys do such a good job of acknowledging it and getting right in there with the fans that still love it. Why is that important for you?
Well, it's really fun. It's been really fun. I started doing Comic-Cons with Chris Lloyd, and it was really fun to see him kind of come out of his shell, because he's a kind of a shy guy. But then we'd be talking to 2,000 people, you know, doing a talk back, and he would just come out of his shell. And it's been surprising to us how generation after generation have embraced the movie. You say how many were born when Back to the Future came out, and it's only half the people in the audience.
Wow.
You know, it's so wonderful. And you know, I feel so grateful to be part of people's childhoods and their adulthoods, and so grateful and lucky.
And fans go crazy when you get together for these reunions. 2020 will mark the 35th anniversary of Back to the Future. Which is so cool.
Really
What
cool.
do you plan to celebrate? What do you plan to do?
I don't know. I suppose I'll be at a Comic-Con somewhere.
That seems like the right thing to do, actually.
Yeah.
Last time you were here, we reviewed the tape. You said a Back to the Future 4 probably would never happen, or a new one.
No.
All right, but now there's a musical in the works in London.
I know
West End.
that.
Just announced actress Rosanna Hyland taking the part of Lorraine.
What does she look like?
Oh, there we go.
Yeah.
Wait, you haven't seen this?
No, not at all. She's cute, but she's British.
Will it be weird
What
for
is that?
you?
Why can they play us, but we can't play them? I don't know.
Will it be weird for you to see someone else playing that character?
Yeah, but it'll be exciting. You know, everyone asks about Back to the Future 4, and I don't think there ever will be, but if the musical's a hit, I bet you they make a musical movie.
Will you go see it?
Of course I will.
Okay.
Well, in your opinion, what does she need? What qualities does she need to really nail the role? What's the most important thing?
She just has to sing the song, "Oh my God, it's Calvin Klein, what a dream."
Amazing.
That's all you need.
So listen up, if you can do that, you got it.
Now, fans of Stranger Things will know there was a really fun homage to Back to the Future. So let's take a quick look at this.
I wasn't totally focused in there or anything, but I'm pretty sure that mom was trying to bang her son.
Wait, the hot chick was Alex P. Keaton's mom?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
But they're the same age.
No, but he went back in time.
Then why is it called Back to the Future?
He has to go back to the future because he's in the past. So the future is actually the present, which is his time.
What?
So they put that in the new season, and I think it's really cool that they included it. What did you think of it?
It's great. It's a great show. I feel honored to be part of it in any way, shape, or form.
Is it crazy that it has had such staying power?
It is crazy, and it's crazy how a lot of different 80s movies have like such resonance with people. I see it all the time, because Space Camp, the movie I did, Space Camp, has there's just people, what they grew up with still remains powerful to them.
Do you watch Stranger Things? Are you a fan of that show, just generally?
I do, yeah.
I mean, is there anyone in the cast that really sticks out to you? I mean, just thinking about sort of this 80s iconic thing and how it just hits the nail on the head, is there anyone to watch in your opinion?
They're all great. I'm not picking out one.
Not picking out a
They're
favorite.
amazing.
Yeah.
It's an amazing crew.
Well, it turns out you have another big milestone coming up in just a few days, your 30th anniversary.
My 30th anniversary with my husband, who directed Some Kind of Wonderful, which is
Yeah.
going to be on the Iconic Movies event.
It's all tied in
It's
here.
all tied in,
Our
yes.
Deutsch,
Yes.
you must be doing something big to celebrate that, 30 years.
We're both going to meetings.
Oh, perfect. That's really romantic.
We're gonna go.
Yeah, lots of fluorescent lighting and
Yeah, we're gonna
cheap
go to
coffee.
meetings, try to get a job. That's how. That's Hollywood. But I celebrate things for a week or 2 weeks, because then I'm not disappointed.
Okay, good. Oh, like leading up to or after?
Yeah. So we're going to a show tonight. We're gonna go to a Broadway show tonight. And
Which show are you seeing?
we're gonna go see Prom.
Ooh, good one. We've seen it.
Have you? Did you like it?
Yeah, Caitlin Kennedy,
gonna be really
the lead.
fun.
She's incredible.
Yeah.
One
So
of the
we're
leads.
gonna we just celebrate for a long time.
That's gonna be a fun date night. Last time you were here with your daughter Madeline, she said that you two were two weird bootleg puzzle pieces that really fit together. So what are some things that you two do together that no one really would understand?
Oh gosh, so many things. Well, I dye her hair. She dyes mine, so that's weird.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
It's saving money for sure.
That makes sense.
We do a lot of crazy things together. We're all very close. My family's really close,
Yeah.
which I'm super grateful for.
Yeah, and I could tell we've talked with you and your daughters have been here before, and it's just really great to see the family dynamic and so much love for each other. And speaking of your daughters, Madeline and Zoe, they became and continue to become more and more successful. There's the photos.
Oh, so cute.
What have they actually taught you about the industry now that they are really in it doing it?
So much. My daughter, Maddie, is a writer too, and becoming a director, and she's really taught me the how hard it is to write. I didn't realize how hard it is to write, and I didn't respect it enough. So she's really taught me a lot about that. Zoe's taught me a lot about spending money on yourself, on your career, on the way you look, and on your coaches and things like that. Like really investing in yourself as a business. And I didn't really think of it that way. She's really smart that way.
That's really interesting.
Yeah.
And Zoe in Italy right now, we're seeing her posting some very chic pictures, visiting fashion shows, film festivals.
She's very chic.
Do you reap any of the benefits of her glamorous events? I don't know, maybe like borrowing from the closet, or she's giving tips and tricks or things like that.
Well, she kind of has a circle of people that she takes with her.
Okay.
Either her boyfriend or her sister or me or sometimes her girlfriend. So, you know, we all vie for it. It's like, you're going to Italy, who's going?
Who's going? Yeah, right, who's on the list?
Who's going? But I lost this time, her glamorous Italian.
It's very glamorous.
Maybe next time.
Maybe
All
next
right,
time.
time for a little game, not just any game, because it is Throwback Thursday, everybody. Get ready. Woo, there we go.
Yes.
Hashtag TBT.
We're gonna play an 80s themed version of this or that. You ready?
Okay.
So cue the 80s music, because we gotta have it.
I think we got it.
All right, first up, shoulder pads or acid wash?
Shoulder pads. 100%. I wish they came back.
I think they are on the way back.
We've seen it.
a little bit.
On The Bachelorette, we saw some shoulder pads.
If there's a sign of anything, it's on Bachelorette. Pac-Man or Tetris?
Pac-Man.
No question.
That is really fun. Crimped hair or a mullet?
Crimped hair. Did you see Howard the Duck? Come on. I had total crimped hair.
I wish crimped hair would come back just so I could give that to my little girls. Like I
had a crimper.
It's a really cool look, I think.
It is, but it took like an hour to get my crimped hair on Howard the Duck.
Oh yeah?
Yeah,
It was like, it would steam.
Yeah, let's bring back that crimped hair, but not a mullet. That's what I'm voting
Yeah,
for.
I'm all
Fanny packs or leg warmers?
leg warmers.
Yeah.
I was a ballet dancer.
Again, the fanny packs are kind of back, so let's work on the leg warmers now, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
Just say no or where's the beef?
Where's the beef, I think.
Mixtapes or dedicating a song to your crush on the radio?
Mixtapes.
Yeah, it's so good, right?
Everything.
That's maybe
I've
one of the...
saved them. I have
you?
mixed cassettes, yes.
Do you remember any of the songs on them? Maybe like a favorite?
I think so. She's the one.
Oh, who sings that?
Bruce Springsteen.
Oh, that one. Of course.
Darling, you're
All right.
in New York.
The moonwalk or the cabbage patch?
Oh, moonwalk.
Are you a dancer?
100%.
You
But I
can-
can't do the
You
moonwalk.
can't do it
can't
right
do
now.
the
No, we figured. We wouldn't ask you to do it right now. But was the moonwalk your go-to, like in the day, or?
No, but it was cool.
Did you have a go-to?
No, I am a really bad dancer. Even though I was a professional dancer, my kids make fun of me.
Yeah.
They say I go like this.
Is that you
Look
trying
at that face.
Yeah, the face is maybe the most. It's just if you
all
just soften
bad.
that
All
intensity. Footloose or Flashdance?
Ooh, that's tough. Flashdance.
Why Flashdance?
Because I remember going to see it when I was doing all the right moves.
Oh, cool. All right, good man.
All right, last one. Ferris Bueller or Marty McFly?
How can I?
Come
Marty McFly.
Okay, just checking.
Yeah,
Thank you for
son.
playing along. It's
Thank
so good to
you.
talk to you.
Thank
you,
Please
thank
come
you.
back anytime that you're at Fire Island.
Yeah.
Guys, watch all your favorite 80s movies every night at 8 p.m. Eastern on HDNet Movies. The series runs from July 22nd through July 27th.
All right, in honor of Lea Thompson joining us on this Throwback Thursday, we've been asking you which classic 80s film is your favorite in our People poll. So let's take a look. Looks like Back to the Future.
Oh, big
Yeah, there you go.
Oh, the dancers are back. Keep voting, guys. For now, though, we move on to this.
All right, guys, this is the sweetest story here. What's more refreshing than lemonade on a hot summer day? An ice-cold beer,
There you
of
go.
course. And one Utah boy is selling the beverage all summer long, but there is a catch. it's actually root beer, so this is genius. A young budding entrepreneur put a twist on the classic lemonade stand by offering ice-cold beer instead. This prompted some of his neighbors to actually call the cops, considering he's 10 years under the legal drinking age.
That makes a lot of sense, right? You see the sign, you think it's not right, it can't be happening. Turns out police arrived on the scene, they found the catch on the boy's sign. The word root is written really small, everybody. It's right above the word beer. No harm, no foul. The cops were actually impressed with the whole marketing strategy. They even picked up a couple of the beers, root beers.
So many cops there just for this issue, too.
They love this. The Brigham City Police Department shared a Facebook post on Tuesday applauding the boy. They wrote, "Yep, he's selling beer, root beer that is. His marketing strategy has resulted in several calls to the BCPD, but apparently it's paid off as business has been good."
Yeah, the young man's business has been booming ever since. One lieutenant told CNN that when the officers got there, they thought it was ingenious. That lieutenant also confirmed the boy's name is Seth.
Way to go, Seth. Good idea. People quickly flooded the comment section praising Seth's idea. One commenter wrote, "He's adorable. It shocked me too, and I bought root beer from him. What a smart kid." The Fort Bend County Sheriff's Office, all the way in Houston, Texas, also commented, writing, "If only he delivered." They went on to say that the marketing initiative was excellent and even made the news out there in Houston. Another commenter actually tried to go buy a drink. The user wrote, "I tried to go to get a drink on my way home from work, but I was too late. The kid must have closed up shop for the day." Selling out over there.
Yeah, police say if you're in the area, you can catch Seth for a cold one from noon to 4 p.m. Then he goes home. CNN reports he plans to keep his stand open until school starts back up. Way to go, Seth.
We are living by design. We are here with our girl, Diana.
Diane.
What do you want to see done with your space?
Just to kind of have like a little, basically like a little home.
I'm back in my garage about to make a really nice statement piece for Diana's place. I'm making a 6-foot by 30 dining room table.
We just need a few really great items to elevate the space.
Can I have these two transform my New York apartment, please? That would be great. That was a look at Living by Design, which features brother and sister duo Jazz and Jake Smollett. And they join us now. Thanks for joining us. How are you guys doing?
Good. It's so good to see both of you. You've got so much going on, a lot to talk about. Let's hit this over the head, elephant in the room. Jussie Smollett, your brother, how's he doing? We haven't heard from him in a long time.
He's doing well, he's fine. He is strong, he's still thriving, and he's still standing in his truth. So thank you for asking.
What are next moves for him? Do we know?
He's got a lot in the works now, so we'll see. There's some stuff to come.
Yeah, Lonnie Love was on our show back in April. She said that she talked to him, and he said that he was planning on coming forward and answering the public's questions. Do you know when that would be?
That's going to be up to him when he's ready to do that. That there's actually now the documents have been unsealed, so all of this information is out there. His story's been corroborated 4 times over, so people can look at the documents. So we're happy about that as well. But
Final question about that. How has this whole ordeal impacted your family?
Our family is very strong. I mean, it's definitely been impactful in personal ways, but we're a very strong family. So yeah.
Well, thank you for sharing.
Yeah, we're very close through anything. We're there for each other.
Through whatever.
In spite of whatever people are saying. Like we know the truth. So yeah.
All right, let's go back to the show. So this is very exciting, Living by Design. There are a lot of home improvement shows out there, but what sets this show apart from the others?
What sets this show apart is it's so much fun. I mean, all shows are fun, but we're talking about Living by Design is so much fun because we get to transform the spaces of millennial women in particular. And there's a couple guys thrown in there.
Thank you very much.
We'll give you a sprinkle.
I'll tell you, the guys need some help. Okay, there's need some help too.
And then we do the transformation, the redesign, really personal to each individual guest that we have on. Like, it's really a personal transformation for their lives and creating a sanctuary in their space. We go over who they are, what tones they like, what they love to do, and really incorporate those things into the space. So it's not a cookie cutter design. And then we do a reveal meal.
That's what I was going to say. If you're going to win people over on any account, you cook them a meal. You guys are feeding people as part of the reveal. That's really cool.
Exactly.
You were cooking on YouTube before, right?
Well, we were, and we actually produced and hosted a Food Network show before, and then we did our cookbook last year, released the family table recipes and moments from a nomadic life.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
And the difference in living by design also is that it's small spaces. You know, we're doing studio apartments. We don't have this budget of a massive house and knocking down walls. We're redesigning small spaces. So it's really
perfect for our New York City apartment.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Great. Come on over.
It really is like coming over.
It is, and it's totally doable. Because this is the thing, our budget to do these redesigns is not a typical television budget. It's really a genuine budget, what people would really use to redesign their space.
Right.
Yeah, and we're online thrifting a lot. Like a lot of this stuff is coming from secondhand use if it was like gently used and things like that. And then Jake's refurbishing stuff.
Okay.
And we like to say I do a design and a dessert because I focus on the redesign and the dessert, and then Jake does a build and a meal. Like he builds a custom piece or refurbishes a piece for each guest.
And I love that aspect. What crossovers have you noticed between cooking and design? Because I feel like it's kind of a unique crossover.
It is. Yeah. It's one of the few shows that actually executes that all in a 30-minute show. It's a little bit of time to be able to do food. We cook for the guests when they come over and see the new redesign. We do a custom build or a refurbish per show. And the redesign. So it's a lot in one show, and I think that's why people have gravitated to it. And it's a lot of action-packed, going on in one show. So
there's a nice reward at the end.
Right.
Yeah. And design and food really cross over in a creative way anyway.
Right.
It's a way to express, a genuine community or express who you are. And so these people, we're able to help them to create their sanctuary, express who they are through the way that their space looks, and then cook them a meal based on who they are, celebrate with their family and friends.
And what better way to sort of experience what the space is going to be like in a real life situation than to have a meal there, right? That does it. Family dynamic for you guys working together. What's that like? What do you love? What do you hate?
I love working with my sister. We've worked together a lot, actually, but I love working. I mean, it's great to show up on set and you get to be with your sister. It's we're
really
best friends. Like we really are. We talk
It
every
really
day.
is.
Not just for the show, but we definitely are very close.
Let's get real though.
Yeah.
Second, pet
But
peeves,
there is a
pet
tug of
peeves.
Yeah, we fight things out. I feel like we fight things out, and then it makes the best thing. There's definitely been times where I'm like, Jake, I need a darker stain on that.
I'm
it
like,
doesn't go with the design.
Not gonna happen.
He's like, no. He's like, why would I paint wood? I don't paint wood.
Very dramatic and passionate.
We're both fire signs.
Yeah.
Okay.
So working through disagreements, is it kind of like you're both like going at it?
Oh, yeah,
or
we fight
We
it
go
out
at it, and then it explodes into the best thing we possibly
Exactly.
could have created.
I can tell there's some fire here.
Yeah.
Put in my trailer. Have your people talk to my people. The show is focused on working with the millennial women. What's one common struggle that you find when it comes to the space that you're dealing with over and over again? Like, oh, this just keeps coming up. Is there a consistency?
They're all kind of unique as far as what the issue with the space is. The issue for each guest tends to be they lack time to redesign their space, the funds to redesign their space, or just the focus on themselves to redesign their space. That there's, as a millennial, you're doing 12 million different things all the time, and a lot of these people are entrepreneurs. Even if you're working one main job, they have a million other things going on in their life. So there's not a lot of time for them to redesign their space. Or they've seen a plethora of ideas out there and haven't been able to really focus in on what is it that they want, what best serves the function and the love of their space so that it's personal to them.
That makes sense.
Because you can get overwhelmed so easily.
Oh yeah, and then it shows in your living space.
Yeah.
It's just a mess.
It is a mess. I'm
I
stressed
don't want
out.
to see my place right now. You have a 5-year-old daughter. Has she been picking up on any designing tricks?
She has. She makes me play Living by Design with her dollhouse.
Talking about small space.
Oh, there she is,
So
my
adorable.
baby.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, that's a new picture. You guys are good.
We're on it.
Yeah, that was her birthday.
Okay.
Big party, of course.
Yeah.
I have to decorate.
Wait, how'd you
well.
celebrate the birthday? What was that
Well,
like?
there were 2 parties because her birthday was on Thursday the 11th. So there's the small family gathering, which is never small in our family. And then on that Saturday, we had a party in my backyard for her. And there were like 25-year-olds there.
It was
and
a
my
lit
mom,
kids party.
Was it?
Really lit.
Slip and slide.
At some point, like, until they get to a certain
Popsicles.
Yeah.
Nice life.
Until a
okay.
certain age, the parties really are for the adults anyway, honestly. It's like, okay, let them go play, but like, what are we all doing over here?
Yeah, exactly.
That's really fun. All right, now we're going to play a little rapid fire Living by Design edition to get to know you better and get your thoughts on popular design and food trends. We'll tell you a trend, you tell us if you're living for it or if you think it needs to go.
Ready for this?
Ready?
Here we go. First up, glass room dividers.
Oh gosh, what?
Like a
Are
glass
you living for it or does it need to
divider.
go?
I mean, why does divide and then you can see through it?
This is the problem.
What if
like,
it's-
and it's hard for me to ever have yes or no answers, honestly, for
depends on
things
the
like
rest
this,
of the
because it
design.
really depends on the rest of it. And I don't want to see a glass room divider if you're trying to divide your bedroom from your living space, because what's the point?
Well, what if you
now,
frost it? Would
everyone
that work?
sees in there. What is it? Frosted? That's just tacky.
Yeah, I don't think
sorry.
Jerry knows.
Babe, we're taking down our frosted glass room divider. Okay, I mean,
All
we don't
right,
want
so that one's up for debate. Let's do the next one, celery juice. The celery juice trend. Living
I'm
for
so
it?
on this.
Living for it? Okay.
I live for celery
You're not
juice.
in it.
I'm not living for it.
Okay.
I live because of celery.
Not for it, but
Do you
because
understand the
of
difference?
But it's supposed to help a lot of things.
It helps everything.
Okay, I need to do
My
it.
life has changed because of
I
celery
need to
juice.
do it.
Okay, come on.
You know, I've been thinking of doing it, and
She
now
really
I'm going
was
to take the
just
plunge
talking.
because of
Do
you.
it.
Okay, I'm getting celery juice after this. So
I
I'm
just-
living for
Definitely.
it.
I just came off a
No,
juice
it's good.
cleanse. I don't care if I ever drink juice again. So you guys have your celery
Seriously.
juice. Floral wallpapers. Living for it or
Oh, I love that. I kind of love that. I don't really like a tiny floral, though.
the big, broad.
Yeah, it's
floral
drama.
print?
What about
Like your
you?
dress.
Yeah,
I'm
like
not
my
living
dress.
for it.
You're not?
I'm just not living for any flowers on the wall. Sorry.
Are you more,
Yeah.
more like just solid color type?
Yeah, I like pinstripes and stuff like that, but something more like.
Such a guy answer,
know,
right?
I don't-
Yeah,
it just
man.
can't-
Look at that glass room divider.
frosted glass divider.
All right, next one, the keto diet. Are we living for it, or does it need to go?
No, I mean, I personally have to eat everything. So
Yeah, same.
I'm not down with it. But
Same.
some people like it. I have friends who are on it, but I'm not. No.
No,
I
you a
not
diet
living
guy?
for it. No. Not
What's,
a diet
what's
guy.
the routine for you? Do you work out? Is it?
I do work out.
Okay.
I like to eat healthy. I eat home majority of the time.
Okay.
So
That's good.
it's easy to eat healthy.
Here's one that I really tap into: succulents as decorations. Yes or no?
Living for it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love succulents. Yeah.
You guys
living
hear
for
that?
it.
I'm a huge fan of succulents all over this set. There's not
Yeah,
one inside. There's one way over there.
Way in the tiny
Where are my
Okay.
succulents?
Wait for more.
Are we living for kombucha, or does it gotta go?
Oh no, I like it. It's a
kombucha
good
on tap.
alternative to soda. Mm-hmm. Yeah, because you don't have to drink the soda. You get some fizziness when you eat a pizza. You don't have to also have the soda.
Yeah, get some kombucha.
I know
You
one
get
here, and I don't
kombucha.
know about this. The Memphis design. What primary colors and graphic shapes? Do you know about this?
Yeah, I mean it. I feel like
I was stumped too.
We can live for it.
I like primary colors.
Yeah.
Again, it depends on the space you're redesigning
Okay.
for it, though. Like if that's what that person likes. Now, if someone likes frosted dividers, I don't care if they like it. They're not getting it. That's
Some
just
things are
embarrassing.
All right, Jazz and Jake, thank you so much. You're so much fun. You guys make sure to check out Living by Design every Saturday at noon on PeopleTV.
Thank you.
Can I help you?
Oh, I should be asking you. I've been assigned to you as an investigator. Rachel Benham. Why do you look so concerned?
You ever worked murder before?
Oh, I see. You think you got stuck with some broad, huh?
I didn't say that.
Okay, well then don't get confused then, because I'm the one who's stuck. You're the dope who lost the case against a kid who shot a cop.
Actress Sara Haines stars in Showtime's Sitting on a Hill. She plays Rachel, a savvy, resilient, no-nonsense criminal investigator.
And in real life, Sara knows a thing or two about resilience. In an exclusive essay in this week's issue of People, Sara opens up about her childhood growing up in Texas as the daughter of immigrants from Iran and her exposure to addiction from a young age.
So she writes in part, quote, "One night when I was about 5, my father was drunk and passed out, and I remember my mom dragging me out of bed in the middle of the night saying, we have to leave now. It was January and it was cold as we headed to a women's shelter in nearby Arlington, Texas. That shelter helped keep my mother and me safe and alive, and I now feel a sense of responsibility to share my story and highlight the necessity of such places."
Sara shares that her father was addicted to alcohol, prescription drugs, and gambling, adding that he was abusive both physically and verbally to her mother. Now, this behavior led Sara's mom to a women's shelter where Sara says that they stayed for nearly 5 months. The actress describes the shelter as dark and kind of prison-like with very little for children to do.
And she remembers that the only activity was a sort of women's circle where the women would get together and talk. She continued saying, quote, "I couldn't really understand why I was there, but I remember feeling so alone and so helpless. I wish there had been books for me to read or that someone would have at least checked in with me to see how I was feeling."
There is a happy ending, though. Sarah's parents divorced when she was 10, and her mother has since found love. Sarah reveals that her mom is now able to live a much better lifestyle. I'm glad that there's sort of a positive part to this.
Yeah, that's great to hear. When she compares her life then to her life now, Sarah says, "I took where I came from and was able to let it fuel me into a much bigger place. I'm able to channel the darkness I got from my father into my acting, but when I go home, that's gone. I married an incredibly loving husband and father who wants to be there for his children. My kids are very close to my mother. Her love is ferocious, and she is truly my hero."
Wow. And guys, if you suspect domestic violence, you can call the National Domestic Violence Hotline or go to the website below. The calls are confidential and the hotline is available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
All right, today is National Where's Waldo Day, and we love it. Woo! TV network Universal Kids, wow, I'm very excited. They're celebrating the launch of the network's new series, DreamWorks Where's Waldo, by proclaiming today as the National Where's Waldo Day.
Guess what? You can join in on the fun. You can take a flat Waldo like this one with you on your family travels this summer.
I love Where's Waldo. Don't forget to tag Universal Kids when you share your pictures with the flat Waldo on social media using the hashtag Where's Waldo.
Love it. DreamWorks Where's Waldo premieres July 20th, 10 a.m. on Universal Kids. For more information, visit universalkids.com.
I'm gonna go hide these now.
And get one of the, I know, like hide around the house, hide around the studio. We're taking one last look at our People poll, everybody. We've been asking you which classic 80s film is your favorite. Let's see.
It looks like Back to the Future. It was also great because we had her here, so.
It really worked out because I didn't want to know how to like twist the conversation in front of her.
We'll be asking you a new question of the day tomorrow on People Now, so tune in for that.
Coming up tomorrow, we are joined live by actor Jimmy Simpson to talk about his new series, Perpetual Grace.
Plus, calling all Community fans, Joel McHale is looking back on the hit show and his time filming with Donald Glover, and he's a blast. Thanks for watching. For now, we leave you with one last thing from Caroline Ray.
Bye.
Hi, I'm Caroline Ray, and this is one last thing. The last show I binge watched was The Loudest Voice on Showtime, and I'm obsessed with it, and there's only been 2 episodes, but Russell Crowe's ridiculously talented.
People don't want to be informed. They want to feel informed.
My last big splurge was a ginormous splurge. I bought an Ashley Longshore painting. It's so beautiful. I have to buy a house now that it fits in. My last girls' day with my daughter was, we went for a walk on the beach and we talked about life. It was amazing.